How you doing, YouTube? It's Will from Will Development. This is my 429th weekly update. My hair is what it is. Busy week this week. Finished, I think I have 14 stones for South Georgia that are now poured, popped, and ground. Now they just need to be finished, which is like I'm going to call it the easiest part of the whole thing, but it's definitely the less challenging part of everything. Finally finished all their trophies. Let me rephrase. Finished all the large trophies for the same show, which is 12, it's going to be 12 8-inch, 12 6-inch, and 12 4-inch trophies. The 4-inch are a gigantic pain in the ass. I do not have a mold for the 6-inch ones, so I've had to make molds for those, and that has been a very challenging endeavor that I've been very happy that I think I finally figured out a good solution to it. We'll find out. I'm going to pour a bunch of them probably this weekend, more than likely this weekend, because I have 2 stones to pour that are, I'm basically taking a break from the South Georgia stones since I've only got 10 left, and they're all, I don't want to say easy, but they're consistent. None of them are like specialty stones. They're all just standards, so it's just going to be like, pour this exactly like that, pour this exactly like that. I'll do probably 4 of them at a time, and then, essentially I'll have 8 of them done, and then I'll only have 2 sets left to go, which means only 4 to go, and those should be easy enough to do. But in between that, I am ending up pouring some stones for the Fox It Up Classic, and luckily those are all just standard stones as well. But of course, some of those were specialty ones, odd weights and things like that. So I figured I did those 3. I have 2 more to do from that, and of course they just both require the same mold, which it is what it is. It's fine. It's whatever. You know what I mean? So going to get those done. But because that's so sort of normal, but I can only do 1 of those at a time. So I'll do 1 and then pour like 2 more, probably the small boys, some of the small ones for the South Georgia show. And because of that, the pour is going to be pretty small. We're talking maybe 400 pounds of concrete, which means I'll use that other 400 that I'll go pick up, and I'll use that on the trophies, those 6-inch, and hopefully those come out nice. And then I got some interesting little side projects I'm also working on with that. But basically, I've been pouring every 3 or so days, 3 to 4 days, I've been pouring, and that will not stop probably for another 2 or so weeks. On top of the odd job I just got tossed. Luckily, it's just 1 stone, and there's no huge hurry on it, and it's just a standard 250, so that's not bad either. But today, with all the grinding, concrete everywhere, all this was leading to this, by the way. Concrete dust everywhere. I do wear a respirator when I grind, but this stuff gets all in your hair and all over the place, and in my eyes a little bit, just because the dust gets in my eyes. Probably going to invest in a full like face enclosed respirator mask here, just so I don't have to get the dust in my eyes anymore. Because man, this shit, it takes like 2 days for my eyes to finally be not coated with dust, with concrete dust, after I do a lot of grinding. But it is what it is. Training this week has been kind of weird. Really no structure, and I probably won't have any structure until after the show, which is on April 8th, I think. Probably won't have any structure until after that show is done, and then I have no plans on competing anytime soon after that. We'll see what comes up, obviously. But I have no plans on competing. I don't know how I'm going to do. There's 2 events that are gigantic wild cards, with a car yoke and a car flip. Who knows how that's going to go? And a keg toss. Who knows how that's going to go? Just based on how my throws are. You never know. And wouldn't you know it, 2 overhead events. You've got a circus dumbbell, which I've got a hell of a chance of getting. Consistently hitting 110 in the gym. It's going to be 120 at the show. Gonna just give that a shot. Next week I'll go for 115 on the dumbbells, see if I can consistently hit that. And if I can, I'll feel a lot more confident for that 120. But part of the reason I've just taken that step back from really structured training is just the rest I've needed. I've realized just pouring so much. I mean, I'm every 3 days I'm pouring, which means every 2 days I'm only getting like 1 day of break in between moving thousands of pounds of concrete. I mean, I am moving 2,000-ish pounds of concrete every week, from the store to the cart, from the cart to my truck, from my truck to the pour station, from the ground there to the mixer, and then, you know, hand pouring each little bit, you know, cup by cup, that kind of thing. So it's you know, it's taking a lot out of me, and I've sort of accepted that fact and realized, like, hey, at this point right now, just with how many things you've got going on, you are just not going to be able to recover from all of that stress that you're putting your body under and still kill it like crazy in the gym. So it's like, all right, volume is pretty low in certain like compound movements, not a lot of volume on things like squats and deadlifts and overhead, and instead we do a lot of volume on the accessories, on top of the arm, which is feeling a lot better. Wouldn't you know, a little bit of rest, and then twice a week I've just been pumping tons of blood into that bicep, with just miscellaneous curls and isometric holds with bands and stuff like that, just trying to get tons of blood in that area to try to heal that up and make it feel good, so at least I can try to clean the axle. I don't see myself getting that press, that 225 press, which is unfortunate. I really wanted it this year, but, you know, will zero to press, who fucking knew, you know what I mean? But that dumbbell, I've got a shot at it. Dumbbell's feeling pretty good. I'm feeling moderately confident with it. Like I said, it'd just be nice not to zero it. That'd be a good day for me, not zeroing that. The rest of it, I mean, I'm just going to have a good time. I mean, there's stones too, and that's part of the reason I'm really not stressing my arm as much. I'm not even practicing axle cleans right now, just because of how strenuous it is on that bicep, and that tendon. So it's going to be like, you know, I may just tell them, hey, I'm going to have to skip this event. It's just not worth the risk, because I would rather do better than I did last year on the stones. No idea what my time was on it, but I want to be able to one motion that 200, which of course I can, and then one motion the 240 also, and then just jump on that 275 and just smash that bitch a lot faster than I did last year. That would be a big win for me. Instead of the, you know, axle just getting that super easy. But, you know, all that being said, I had a bit of a bug up my ass this week. My low back's been just stressed just from all the, like, you know, just lifting and bending and all this stuff, and not letting it get a break just because of the work I have to do. The one thing that's always fixed my back, ironically, is deadlifts. So I said, well, let me just deadlift today, and I deadlifted on Thursday. I haven't straight deadlifted in probably about a month. And I'm also walking around at like 180, so I've lost like 5 pounds. Just from poor water intake, poor eating habits, all of it. Not complaining too much. I don't mind being light and making sure that my cut to 181 is either easy or non-existent. I'm not complaining at all. My appetite's also kind of messed up right now too. I'm just kind of not hungry a lot of times. Even though I know I need to eat, so... It's just one of those things. I don't want to throw around the word overtrained, but my body is definitely just tired and beat up. And things are just a little goofy because of it. Yuck. And yeah, I just had a bug up my ass deadlifting, and I pulled 405 beltless double overhand, and I was honestly like, you know, that wasn't too bad. Put on 455, which I haven't touched in over a month, and that was the straps and a belt. Yanked it, and it felt fine. And I was like, you know, do I do 475? You know, I was like, because I want to go near 500 today, just because I'm just bullshitting around, you know? I said, well, you know what? Instead of just doing 475, because I don't think I have it in me. Especially yesterday, I had like 2 quarts of water throughout the whole day. Um, poured stones. Um, Probably only had about 1,500 to 2,000 calories, which I had just eaten like 2 hours before. And I was like, you know what? Let's just go for 505. Fuck it. Like, I've pulled 500 before, and I was weighing like 190 when I did that, and I said, let's just put 505 on there. Worst case, I miss it. Who gives a shit? I don't care. And I actually ended up getting it. So that's like a lifetime PR. That's the most I've ever deadlifted from conventional from the floor, on top of the absolute lightest body weight I've ever done that at. So that was super cool, super random. I guess the argument could be that I was just really fresh, and that's why I got it. I don't know. But my plan did work, and my back feels so much better because of that. So, like I said, not really structured training going into the next couple weeks, which is about how long I have for the show. And that's totally fine. Gonna just try to keep my diet, get my diet a little more on track, at least space my meals a little bit better. Simply for the fact of having better like protein synthesis potentially. I don't want to say the jury's still out on that with meal timing, if it actually really matters all that much, but you know, the idea that eating all, let's say 180, 200 grams of protein in one sitting, I have a hard time believing my body's going to get all the protein it needs in that one shot. So it's kind of like, yeah, we should probably space it out a little bit better, and I'll get better about that over the next couple weeks. And just try to keep myself around 180, because why not? I mean, obviously I'm still strong at that body weight, so yeah, that's sort of how it's been. That's sort of the plan right now, and yeah, that's about it. Should have more interesting things to talk about next week after I hit that 115 dumbbell. Oh yeah, I just did push press out of the rack, and did 175 for just a single, and it really wasn't that bad. Felt heavy in my hands, but it wasn't terrible. Axle's definitely easier for me because I can rest it easier on my shoulders, which is fine. And then I put 205 on the bar just to see if I could do it. Waited way too long to give it an attempt, and then by the time I unracked it, I was like, this feels heavy. I'm shaky. Kind of went for the dip, and I was like, yeah, that's just not happening today. So it is what it is. I said, not upset about any of the training this week. Very much so just working on, hey, just keep moving. There's nothing wrong with getting the intensity a little higher. Maybe next week I'll just do like 190 on overhead and just call it there on next Friday and just do that. So there's nothing wrong with not having a plan every once in a while, and just taking into account that life stress will tear you down too. So keep that in mind, and if you don't, then what's your excuse?